Bearings are simply a way of giving directions. And these directions are given from north. So assuming you are facing north, all directions will be given from north, which means if you're traveling north, your bearing will be 0, 0 because that's our reference point. Okay? Now, if you walk from point A to point B, as shown in this diagram, so basically it's like you're standing at point A facing north and you turn 140 degrees to walk from point A to point B. So the angle that you would have turned is that one here, shown here. That angle is 140 degrees. So your bearing will be 140 degrees. Okay? You are actually walking on a bearing of 140 degrees because that is the direction to which you're walking. Okay? So remember what I said initially? It's like you're standing facing north and then you turn clockwise. Okay? Making an angle of 140 degrees before you walk from point A to B. So your bearing is basically 140 degrees. Okay, from point A. Now, so how do you measure a bearing? You start measuring from the direction north, facing north, and then you always turn clockwise. So you measure clockwise. Give the bearing using 3 figures. Okay, so if it's 0, it will be 0, 0, 0. If it's 1, it will be 0, 0, 1. Okay, like that. So let's look at the first example. Okay, so what is the bearing of Summersfield Academy from Bermuda High School? So first of all, I have to identify where Summersfield Academy is. By the way, Bermuda High School is here, and I'm standing here, so I'm facing north. Okay, and I want the direction to Summersfield Academy. So the first thing that I need to do is to join these 2 points using a straight line. Okay, done. Now I need to measure that angle because the angle that I'm interested in is this angle here. Okay, remember I'm standing at Bermuda High School facing north. I want to go to Summersfield. So what angle am I going to turn clockwise before I start walking to Summersfield Academy? That angle is what you're looking for. That is the bearing of Summersfield Academy from Bermuda High School. Or you can rephrase it and say, that is the direction of Summersfield Academy from Bermuda High School. Okay, so let's measure it. We need a protractor. So let me use this protractor that looks like a compass. So my 0 line should be facing north. So there we are. 0 line should be facing north, and then I'm just going to put it there. All right, 0 line facing north. Put it exactly at the center, and we can see that the angle that we have there is about 66 degrees. Okay, so the angle that we have is about 66 degrees. So we can say that the bearing of Summersfield Academy from Bermuda High School is 066 degrees. Okay, example 2. What is the bearing of Bermuda College from Bermuda High School? The first thing that we need to do is to join these points. So basically, draw a line joining basically Bermuda High School and Bermuda College. Now, assume that you're standing at Bermuda High School, you're facing north. What angle do you have to turn clockwise before you walk from Bermuda High School to Bermuda College? That angle is actually this one here. And how do we find that angle? We have to measure it. Okay, so again, we take a protractor and measure it. So this should be facing north. Drag it to the center. All right. So our angle Remember, we always we measure from 0. So 0, 10, we are going to use the outside one. So 0, 10, 20, 30, all the way to 100, and it's about 144. Okay, 43. Okay, around 143. So anyway, we'll come back to our diagram and write that the bearing is about 143. So 143 degrees, because this angle here is 143 degrees. Okay, let's carry on. The next one, what is the bearing of Warwick Academy from Cedar Bridge? Okay, so Cedar Bridge is here, Warwick Academy is here. I need to join the 2 points using a straight line. There we go. So remember, I'm standing at Cedar Bridge and I want to walk to facing north. I'm standing at Cedar Bridge facing north. I want to walk to Warwick Academy. What angle am I going to turn clockwise before I start walking? So that angle will be given by that. Okay? We need to measure it. Again, you have to get your protractor. And again, I prefer this one here. It's easier to work with. Okay? So just drag it to Cedar Bridge. That's where you're standing. Okay? Facing north. Turn clockwise. What angle are you going to make? Around 200 and is it 220? Yep, 220. All right, so which means your bearing will be 220 degrees. Okay, let's carry on. Example 4. What is the bearing of Bermuda School of Music from Stepping Stones? So Stepping Stones is here, Bermuda School of Music is here. What I need to do is to join the 2 points. So basically, take a straight line, join the 2 points. Perfect. Oops. Now should be a straight line. Try again. So I don't know what's happening. We'll try again. So grab a straight line. Yeah, now it's working. Now I'll make it a little bit longer because I need to use a protractor to measure that. So the next thing is, by the way, just before I measure this, remember you're standing at stepping stones, and what you're going to turn clockwise before you start walking from stepping stones to Bermuda School of Music, which means you're facing north, turn clockwise, and that is the angle that you're going to make before you start walking from stepping stones to Bermuda School of Music. All right, so we need to insert our measuring tool, which is a protractor. Prefer this one again. The 0 line should be facing north because that's our reference point. All right, center at the center, and then you can just read using the outside scale. So we go ahead all the way, and we can see that the angle that's made here. Okay, I just need to make sure. Yeah. It's around won't be as accurate as I want it to be, but it's around 280 to around 289. Okay, around 289. Yep, around 289. The diagram shows the positions of 2 ships A and B. What is the bearing of ship A from ship B? That means what is the direction of ship A from ship B? So basically you are standing at ship B facing north. What angle do you need to turn clockwise before you can see ship A? So this is the angle that you need to turn clockwise before you can see ship A, or face directly ship A, or move from ship B to ship A. Okay, so what we need to do is to measure that angle. So insert, you can just use your protractor. Okay, and I like this one here, which is much easier to use. Now the 0 mark should be facing north, the center at B, not A. And now remember, these are just estimates. They won't be exactly what you expect. And we can see that's around 301. So I'll just write 301. Okay. What's the bearing of ship B from ship A? What that means is you're standing at ship A facing north. What angle do you need to turn before you can move to ship B? So basically that is the angle there. And we need to measure it. So again, grab your protractor and just measure it. And it's about 121. Okay? About 121. Okay. Example 6. The diagram shows two cities, Abuja in Nigeria and Hamilton in Bermuda. Okay. The first question is, what is the bearing of Abuja from Hamilton? So, you are at Hamilton, facing north. What angle do you need to turn clockwise before you can face Abuja? Of course, the first thing is we need to join these two cities using a straight line. Okay, done. The next step is, remember, you are standing at Hamilton. You have to turn you're standing at Hamilton facing north. What angle do you have to turn clockwise for you to face Abuja? And that angle will be given here. So this is the angle that you have to turn clockwise before you can face Abuja. Remember, you're standing at Hamilton because we are trying to answer this question. What's the direction of Abuja from Hamilton? Okay, now you're standing at Hamilton facing north. What angle do you have to turn clockwise before you can face Abuja directly? And that's the angle shown there. So we need to measure it using our protractor. So again, insert measuring tool. Okay, we have the protractor there. I need it a little bit smaller. The 0 mark should be facing north. All right, so let's go. We have there. And we can see that this angle is about, okay, it won't be exact, an estimate, 100 and, it's about 110. Yeah, around 110. Yeah, so about 110 degrees. Now, the next question, find the real distance in kilometers between Abuja and Hamilton. Now, every map has a scale. So maybe the first thing that we need to do here is to inspect the scale, what it tells us. So what I'm going to do is I'll use a ruler to help me work this out. So here is my ruler, and here is the scale here. So which means about 2 centimeters represent 2,000 kilometers. So what we have from here is 2 centimeters represent 2,000 kilometers, which means 1 centimeter will represent 1,000 kilometers. Okay, so we have this scale that you're going to use, and this is given here by Google. So what you're going to do is we are going to measure the distance between, and this is from the map, we are going to measure the distance between Hamilton and Abuja. Okay. Now that distance is about 8.1 okay, about 8.15. Okay, so that's about 8.15 centimeters. So 8.15, but we know that 1 centimeter represents 1,000 kilometers. You're going to multiply this by 1,000 to get the real distance, because you want the real distance in kilometers. Okay, you want the real distance in kilometers. So if you multiply out that, you'll end up with 8,150 kilometers. And that will be the distance between Hamilton and Abuja, Nigeria.